Writing originated on the African continent. The history of writing in Africa followed a process of development from petroglyph and cultural symbols to what we call phonetic representations of sound. There are four major cradles of writing in the world. There is the African cradle centered in the Hapi beginning about 3400 BCE, the Chinese cradle with the oracle bone writing during the Shang period in 1776 BCE, the Sumerian cradle with the 3060 BC wet clay seals, Olmec Mayan cradle. These are glyphs from 500 BCE to 1200 AD. In the Hapi River Valley, the Medu Neter had many stages of development. You have the pre-dynastic period, the dynastic hieroglyphics, the hieratic script, the Demotic script, the Coptic and Nubian alphabet with Greek letters. Most of the modern writing used today comes from the African cradle. The Medu Neter writing system helped engender the Proto-Sinaitic script, which gave birth to the Phoenician and Aramaic script of West Asia, as well as the Ge'ez script of Ethiopia. The Aramaic script gave birth to the Hebrew writing. The Western Greek alphabet, known as the Chalcidian alphabet, is the basis of all modern European writing systems. The Etruscan alphabet is an offshoot of the Eobean alphabet. The Cyrillic, Glagolitic, Russian, Runic, and Roman scripts all descend from the Greek alphabet, which descends from the Medu Neter. The Tamashek writing used to writing the Amazigh script of the Maghreb descends from the Old Numidian script, which descends from the Punic script, which was derived from the Phoenician alphabet. The linear A and B systems, and their relative in the Cretan hieroglyphs of Minoan, have also been compared to the Medu Neter by Arthur John Evans. The writing systems of Africa are also related. This was detailed in the UNESCO Symposium at Cairo in 1974. They compared the development of ideograms, phonograms, and lograms. Similarities are found among the Dahomey of Benin, Vai, and Kele script of Liberia, the Loma script found in Liberia and Guinea, the NKO of the Mande languages, Gikondi script of Kenya, Mende of Sierra Leone, Shupamem of Bamun in Cameroon, Nsibidi of the Ekoi, Ifik and Igbo people of Nigeria, Obiri Okainmi of the Yoruba, and many more. The writing systems of the Hapi River Valley, the Dahomey of Benin, and the Mansis of Mali served non-materialist means. The first was to materialize thought and record something sacred. In Remenkemi tradition, Tahuti created writing and enshrined it for usage in temples by priests. Here writing served to record secrets for initiates, or as a medium for a type of thought conceived as an active substance to be materialized. The Dogon jackal-headed deity is the inventor of magic, science, and the guardian of word knowledge and effective speech. This mirrors Jehuti. The second function assigned to literary records in African civilizations coincides with the need to perpetuate history. Both Egyptian writing and the writing of the palaces of Abomey are used to glorify sovereigns and nobles who want their feats to be remembered. The Bambara and the Dogon also used writing for this purpose, as they carved ideographs on the walls of Bandiagra. There are similarities between the spiritual principles and writing techniques of the Rekade of the Oba of Dahomey and the Namer palette. In ancient Kemi and Dahomey, pictographic writing was used and primarily limited to temples. The writing was realistic and concerned to materialize living beings, objects, and ideas in the most concrete and substantial manner to conserve their natural qualities. For thousands of years, this tradition remained incapable of secularizing thought and its oral or graphic media. The Bambara, the Yoruba, the Nsibidi, and the Dogon priests have exactly the same view of the writing systems which they use in their temples and their divination ceremonies. The unity of African writing systems lies not only in the ideological presuppositions which give those systems their functions and nature, but in the transcription technique itself. Continually throughout the history of African writing systems, three techniques for the graphic recording of thought are relevant: the use of the image, through pictograms depicting the creature or the object; the use of the symbol to represent an entity through ideograms, which are signs with no direct link of physical resemblance to the concept they symbolize; and finally, the use of phonograms, each representing one whole set of homophones, that is, of entities denoted by the same sound or group of sounds. This is the principle of pictophonographic writing. On the palette, we have the image of a king seizing a defeated enemy by the hair in order to dispatch him, while the rest of the conquered army flees beneath the feet of the gigantic pharaoh. The pictograms are clear and eloquent. The other signs are ideograms. One such distinct sign is an oval ta, symbolizing the earth. Above is a group of signs in a square as the emblem of the pharaoh's name. A fish and a bird make up the name of the pharaoh. The two images are pictophonograms. The Rekade of Gizo shows the Dahomey sovereign in the form of a buffalo, as pharaoh is symbolized by a falcon. His teeth are bared, meaning that he sows panic among his enemies from earliest youth. In this case, we have an example of a symbolic representation. Others are more significant. The Racade of King Dakadonu or Dokadonu, which is older, 1625 to 50, and is described by Le Hérisset, shows even more clearly the principle of the Dahomey hieroglyph. The text on the axe blade can be read as follows. There is a pictographic symbol representing a silex da, with below the symbol of the earth, ko, having a hole in the middle, donyon. These signs are pictograms used here as pictophonograms. By combining them, as in the case of the pharaoh's name in the Narmer palette, we get the name of the Dahomey King Dokadunu. Dahomey writing bears the strongest possible likeness to the Egyptian hieroglyphs and the principles and spirit of that system. It reveals the three techniques used by Egyptian graphics: the pictographic image, the ideographic symbol, and the pictophonographic sign. Dimitri A. Olderog and Sheikh Anta Diop observed that the pharaonic writing system has survived in Inner Africa. In his historical description of the three kingdoms of Congo, Matamba, and Angola, published in 1687, Cavazzi de Montecutulo asserts that hieroglyphic writing was used in these areas. In 1896, a hieroglyphic inscription was discovered on the rocks at Tate in Mozambique, beside the Zambezi. The text of the inscription was published at the time. Sheikh Anta Diop notes elsewhere the use of a late pictographic writing system in Baal, where recently traces of hieroglyphs have been discovered on 1,000 baobabs. The Vai of Liberia for many years used a pictographic writing system on strips of bark. Ideographic systems were more widespread. You have the Mwaba Gurma system in northern Togo, IFA graphic system of the Yoruba, Bambara graphic system of the Dogon, and Sibiti system of the Igbo. Phonetic signs are the systematization of phonograms into an alphabet. West African alphabets and syllabaries are found across the Sahelian zone and may have resulted from internal developments. Vai, like hieroglyphic system, uses a dot to mark plurals. Today, we have instances similar to that of Vai writing among many West African peoples: the Malinka, Mande, Bassa, Gerze, Bele, Toma, etc. Wolof and Serer have also recently been provided with graphical systems based on these principles. Post-pharaonic African writing systems followed a normal development, and there are many reasons for this. Quite simply, this development was adapted to the historical context and the historical requirements of an affluent rural society and economy. Its members were not forced by the pressures of poverty to consolidate in their own age their material or intellectual acquisitions, because these were not continually threatened. An ecology providing an easy balance between resources and population gave most African civilizations and their cultural features the power to wax and wane geographically, while always preserving their essence, their principles. From the point of view of internal equilibrium, there was no great risk, but external forces and the growing effects of progress made such fragility a handicap. Linguistics is absolutely essential to the development of an African science of history. However, it will be able to make its contribution only if a great effort is undertaken. So far, its contribution has been relatively slight, and in many instances, scientifically unsound. Research is underway. The precision of its methods has increased, and the area of its investigations has broadened considerably. In this context, we can expect the analysis of African languages to contribute in the near future to the clarification of important points of the history of the continent. We have the Njoya model, which can be used to develop picto-ideographic systems to syllabic and alphabetic systems. These parameters can be used to modernize African orthographies throughout the planet.